Welcome back to the James Kennedy podcast. Bro hugs, fist bumps, and handshakes all around. How you guys doing? I hope you enjoyed the conversation from last week's episode with the brilliant and inspirational Stella Assange, talking, of course, about Julian Assange from WikiLeaks and the current attempts to extradite him to the US. I feel very privileged to be able to have those kind of conversations as a result of having this podcast. So thanks so much to everybody who supports me in keeping this thing afloat. And welcome to all of the new subscribers that have recently joined as well. Thanks for jumping on board. If you are new to the podcast, then welcome. Take a look around of all the previous episodes, as you'll be able to see this is a mixed bag. If you came for the politics, there's tons of previous episodes with some seriously awesome and interesting dudes such as Greg Palast, Lee Camp, Nathan Paul Southern, Greenpeace, Extinction Rebellion, Mark Curtis, several MPs, and loads of spokespeople for certain causes as well, which is super interesting. Like, we did one on assisted dying. We've done stuff on drug reform. There's tons of stuff to go and scroll through. If you're not interested in any of that stuff, don't worry. I got you covered as well. We got tons of music-orientated episodes with rock stars like Frank Turner and Jace Lewis, Sean Smith, my good friend Alec Clifford, Brian Slagle from Metal Blade Records, and we've done tons of music industry episodes as well to deal with the underbelly of how the music biz works with guys like Tom Gray and Tim Brennan and the awesome Ian Winwood, of course. So there's a decent body of knowledge and wisdom which is building up on this podcast now across several different areas of interest. So do scroll back and check out some of the previous conversations if you're new to the club or if you haven't checked them all out yet. We've also got some episodes coming up to do with mental health and myth busting around, nutrition and exercise and food health and all that sort of stuff, as well as some sciencey stuff and whatever else happens along the way, you know what I mean? Whatever is interesting and useful. So this is just a general mixed bag of interesting and useful shit. So whatever you come to the podcast for, I hope you find it here and, check out some of the episodes from people that are outside of your usual area of interest because, you might find it interesting. And if you're one of those listeners who hasn't yet subscribed yet, shame on you. It's a click of a button. Come on, help a brother out. What you doing, man? Get with the times, dude. This is how it works now. Artists do shit for free in return for, a direct-to-fan relationship where you help us out by sharing it, subscribing, leaving reviews, and hitting the star button. Easy to do, takes 2 seconds, doesn't cost you a penny, and it helps us to keep doing what we're doing and giving you the good stuff. So get to it. This week, we're taking another little breather from politics just for a second to jump face first into the comfortable bosom of rock and roll. And boy, have we got a good one. We are joined today by a man who should need no introduction, but let's see what he thinks of this. The Prince of the Port, singer in the band Skindred Dubwar, songwriter, DJ, TV dog rescuer, creator of the famous Newport helicopter, one of the best frontmen of our times and most certainly the coolest and stylish man in the land. If you haven't guessed it already, I'm talking, of course, about the awesome Mr. Benji Webbe. Thanks for joining us, man. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. All is well. Alhamdulillah, as the Muslim people say. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm really well.
Wicked, man. Glad to hear it, dude. Because you're a busy guy, man. I mean, what's been happening lately?
I was in a record shop last week, and I was talking to a friend of mine called Mikey Cole. Mikey Cole played bass in a band called the 60-Foot Dolls.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mikey for 20-odd years, 30 years, I reckon. And he said, "Benj, you're a workaholic." And I looked at him and I thought, I guess I am. I do a lot of stuff, I do a lot of stuff. But, I do it for me, bro. And I enjoy serving myself because I know if I wasn't doing something, I would just go crazy, bro. So I think working, so they call it, it gets me in a place where I feel like I'm alive,
Got
Definitely.
You. Yeah. Got you. Well, the devil makes work for idle hands, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
Amen, brother. Amen. Amen. That's what they say.
Keep yourself busy, dude. Well, I mean, you've got the tour coming up with Dubwar in March. Is that the main focus right now? What's happening with the balance between Skindred?
That is the main focus right now. I mean, funny enough, Skindred went out tour. We did a massive European tour with a band from Copenhagen, Denmark called Volbeat.
Yeah.
We did a massive tour from September right the way till the 20th of December, and we went all over Europe. So that wrapped up. Skindred's got some festivals coming up, and we got a new single out called Gimme That Boom, which is going really well. It's doing really good in Germany, and a lot of people are loving that track. But my main focus at the moment is trying to fill up the venues around the UK with Dubwar for this, Westgate Under Fire album
Yes.
block,
Hell yes, man. Fucking what a record, dude. I mean, Jeff Rose, my good friend, I do all my records I do with Jeff, so big shout out to Mr. Jeff Rose as well. And I know I just caught the post earlier that you put on social media about Mike Doling and Jamie Miller on the track Crying Clowns off the record.
Yeah.
But the last band I did with my band, Kaishira, was around Europe with Snot. So there's a funny connection there because you guys toured with them back in the 90s when Lynn was in the band,
mate, 95. We did Snot with Lynn in the band.
Wow.
Incredible. Never heard of Snot until we got to America. We knew we were supporting Fishbone. Fishbone was going on last. We were opening up, and Snot was in the middle. And we were on tour with them for 6 weeks, mate. And we made friends for life on that tour. Definitely, it was definitely one of the most strangest tours. But a tour's strange at the time, but the magic and the romance comes later when it's all over, mate. That's something I learned about. At the time, you're like, fucking hell, this is shit. I can't wait till it's over. And that's the truth. And that's most tours for me, like. But when I finished, I go, man, what a good time I had. I think I tend to do that a lot, even on stage. Big festivals like Download, I'm doing a Newport helicopter, doing all the things, doing the front man thing and thinking, fucking hell, I can't wait to get off. But,
really?
Yeah, but when it's over, I sit back and go, I had a good time. You know what I mean? It's quite strange. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, as much as I'm working up there, bro. I'm looking for the next thing to fucking make the people rock or put their hands in the air or spin around or do something. So I'm thinking, as I'm performing, I'm working, if you know what I'm trying to say. So I don't
You're
really
not
enjoy
soaking
it
in,
Yeah, it's only when I sit back and I watch the TV and go, fuck me, that was cool. I watch YouTube or whatever. I think that's what I think of it. I think when you're actually doing it, the romance comes later. You know what I mean? That's when because at the time it's just work, Yeah. And that's something that I learned even from the last tour we did with Volbeat.
I'm guessing you're touring in a lot more comfort now than you were back in the days with Snot. I can imagine touring across America, I'm assuming in something similar to a transit van.
It was a transit van, mate, with a van with a trailer on the back. And it was hard, but that's all we knew. I mean, we pull up next to the Fishbone, and Snot was the same as us. They never had fuck all either. All they had was a trailer and a U-Haul. They call them U-Haul things, with all the gear in the back. Fishbone had a bus, and you know what's really funny? The bastards never even invited us on there. All them weeks, and we never even got to go on there.
What?
I mean, I always say to people, like, I love taking, like, opening acts. I always so for me personally, I feel gratitude when I go and I take a band that's never been on a bus and say, come and check the bus, man. And they walk on a bus and, they go, wow, my God. Like, and I remember the first time I seen that as well. You know what I mean? Right. And I think you got to pass it on. That's the thing to do. As a musician, you pass it on. Too many people I know in the music business and acting game, they get somewhere, and instead of letting the fucking ladder down, they pull it up, the bastards.
100%, you know what I mean? 100%, yeah, man.
And they just want them to be on top of the game, not everybody can be a rock star, so just calm the fuck down. Don't be so greedy, like, you know? But I always enjoy taking local bands, on the bus and vibing with them and showing them, like, we worked hard for this bus. This wasn't given to us in any shape or form. We worked very hard. We had a lot of arguments, a lot of tears, a lot of blood. You know what I mean? But I want to share that with people, when we go somewhere. I even grab, like, if I see the milkman delivering milk, and but that's nice, mate. That's a lovely bus, that is. Come on, have a look at it, bro. And they come on and they have a look and they go, my God, it's better than my living room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like that because I think we got to, as musicians, you got to share it. You got to share that, what you got, like, as much as, and I do think that taking the band aside who's opening up and bringing them into your dressing room or just, going into their dressing room before they go on and encouraging them. I think it's, that's what, I remember the people who did that to me, and that's the guy I want to be.
Good for you, man. Yeah, I mean, when we toured with Snot, they had a double-decker fucking... It was bigger than a double-decker bus. It was huge.
And you never went on there.
We never went on there.
I know, bro, them fuckers.
It was a bit fractious, that tour. Through no fault of theirs. But we didn't really get on with each other on that tour because our manager stiffed us over for our contribution to the tour. And I didn't know about this until like the third week in. I was like, these guys are a bit fucking frosty. Like, we pass them in the street, they didn't even say hello, And it's like...
Yeah, and you've been on tour with them 3 days,
3 weeks.
Bro, there's things, I know, 3 weeks. There's things go on that the artists don't know, and the management's dealing with it, and that's it. See, and I've heard that a few times, not about you, but I've heard a few times about bands that's been on tour, and they're supposed to pay half of the bus or paid to be on the tour and they haven't paid and the band don't know about it and they're walking around smiling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, no, exactly that. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys, man?
It's a weird game, man. It's a weird game.
It's such a fucking iconic band, such a great fucking album, Get Some. I still listen to it to this day and I was like, oh man,
me too, mate.
This is gonna be fucking awesome.
I was really surprised because I've never lost contact with Mikey. I mean, obviously before Facebook, I did for years, like 10 years I never spoke to him for. But as soon as Facebook came along, me and Mikey was in contact and then he joined Soulfly because I did some work with Cavalera as well. So we were always friends through that, like, you know what I mean? But as soon as I asked Mikey during that pandemic, so Mike, you guys up for doing some stuff for us? You know, for me and Jeff and Rich, and they said, yeah. Like, it wasn't even a case of like, oh, let me think about it.
Right.
It was like, yes, send me the tracks. We'll get in the studio and we'll lay it down.
Wicked.
And that's exactly what they did.
Awesome.
And Crying Clowns, I think it's just a great song. It's got that snot wow that Mikey's famous for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very happy with that.
Oh, dude, the whole record rocks, man. And yeah, like luckily I bumped into Dolan in Belgium a couple of years back, and we managed to rectify everything, you know, once he knew what the situation was and everything, and we tied it up. And I made sure they got their money, because I was just fucking, like I say, walking around with a dopey grin on my face, oblivious, you know, in Italy.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's exactly how it is. Hey, man, how you doing?
Yeah.
What's wrong with everyone?
I'd say fucking miserable pricks, you know, but I totally get it now, you know.
A few times. Been there a few times.
So luckily we patched it up, because I love that. I love that band. I love that record, man. So he plays in a band called Channel Zero in Belgium as well. They're big in Belgium.
Yeah, he's got a couple of projects actually. But
he's like you, man. He's busy as fuck. Like.
Yeah, bro. I just can't sit still. Like I said, I just got to keep doing it. I mean, I wrote that children's book not so long ago, The Wonderful Adventures of Colin the Kitten.
That's right.
But you know what I want to talk about? People who yes you to death and then they fucking flake on you.
Okay.
I think that is the most, you know, I prefer someone to say, fuck off, you bastard, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Than to go, yeah, man, you know, we can work it out. And then you end up being the bad fella for calling them constantly, going, what's happening, like?
So who are we talking about? Anything you've got to get a chest?
Oh, I got fucking, where do you want me to start, bro?
Go for it, tell him.
No, I just feel like when you're doing something with someone, whether you're playing guitar, whether you're writing something, whether you're making, designing T-shirts. I mean, people, I just think, I actually thought it was something in the fucking injections it was giving to people to making them flaky.
Making them dopey, yeah.
My own conspiracy theory, like, you know, but I had like 4 or 5 things which was going great, man. I mean, like really, really well.
Right.
Like I was working with this artist on a cartoon stuff, and I was working with someone else on the T-shirt, some really cool, you know, screens printing stuff. And we were going really well. They were sending me the designs. I was blowing up on it. And they were going, yeah, we're going to try this. We're going to try that. I don't know whether they all got together and said, Benji's a cunt, don't do anything for him, or what.
What? So all of them, the whole thing went quiet?
The three, look, I had one guy in Liverpool, one guy in Bali, one guy in Australia, one in Cardiff.
Wow.
And I thought, what, is it me? Is it fucking me? And I'm really scratching my head. I'm asking my wife, what the fuck? What am I, some sort of asshole? You know, she said, yeah, but maybe not in this situation.
Well, do you know what? For me, like, this is music to my ears, because I get that shit all the time. I think they call it ghosting, don't they? You know, where everything's going great and then all of a sudden...
is that, now I know what it is, okay.
It's called ghosting. You can see when people have read the message and they just stop replying. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Because I'm like you, I'd rather them say, dude, we can't do it, all the best, and then you stop wasting your time, you know? So I prefer that. But it happens to me all the time. But I'm at a different rung of the ladder to you. So I always just assume that this shit only happens to me because I'm sort of down at this level. Well, once you get up to Benji Webbe level, shit don't happen. So I'm glad that it does.
No, it does happen, bro. And I think, you know, I'm thinking to myself, it does make you check yourself and ask, have I did something wrong? Is my conduct been... And I'm checking my conduct all the time. And now I'm working with people. And the first thing or the second thing I say to them is, you don't have to do this. Please tell me to fuck off now before I'm bugging you in years from now.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, that's something I just to encourage every person out there. If you don't want to do something, say yes, but tell them quickly that you're not interested.
100%, yeah.
And never not answer people's fucking texts and messages. That's the rudest thing you can do.
Oh,
I think, you know, there's no need for it. Like, I text you, mate. Ghost. I text you, mate. Ghost. Nothing.
Yeah.
I just think people need to go, you know what? No,
I'm not
I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Not interested.
Because then maybe I can find someone who actually fucking is interested.
You can keep it moving.
Instead of you wasting my time. You know, and then the people are telling you, these T-shirts this guy designed in Bali. They were outstanding, bro. It's not even worth me trying to recreate them.
Right.
Because basically, I called him. A friend of mine was introduced. Jason Raposa, an amazing surf photographer. He turned me on to this guy, and for the first 3 months, the guy was all over it. I was telling him ideas. I mean, everything he did was based around the Newport helicopter thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was trying to make a design for a shirt and for a clothing brand, all about the Newport helicopter, and it was going really well. But he was very creative anyway. But what I was telling him, he was just doing what I told him, and he was sending it back.
Got you.
And I was blown away because he was doing some fucking Rasta shit, some metal shit, some ska shit.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, and I'm wowing me to death. And then one day he said, okay, I'm going to send you some shit, and it should be with you by next Wednesday. Next Wednesday came.
What?
Nothing.
So you got that
and
far?
I mean, dude,
You got that far?
I'm going to send you.
You got as far as next Wednesday.
I got to a room. I got to the point where the guy showed me his studio with all the shirts he designed laying up in the living room.
Oh my God.
room.
So you got to the fucking finish line and then nothing.
I've get to the finish. This is what I'm saying. I don't mind if it's like a chat, one conversation, and then you fuck me off. Of
course.
But when you put because one thing that's spinning me out now, it's not the money, it's the fact, what did you do with all them fucking shirts, bro? I'm going to send you them, bro, right? I'm going to send you these shirts. They are fucking dope.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't say Skindred. It's not like that. You'd look at it and you go, wow, that is cool. Because then when I say that's Benji Webbe's thing, you go, fuck me, I can see it now.
Right.
You know, it was that kind of cool, like, you know.
So how long has this dude been? How long's it been now since you got a reply from this guy?
Fuck me. He was really cool for the first, I'd say 6 months. So I reckon it's been about 18 months now. He hasn't bothered with me.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
18 months.
That's fucked
And the
up.
worst thing, right? I left him a message saying, "What the fuck, bro? What am I black or something? Sort me out, back, you know." and he totally ignored that. And I went, "Okay, maybe I should have said that." I'll try another one. And I asked him again. And the worst thing is, like, he disappeared then for like 4 months, and then he appeared again with this woman in his life. And I was like, I'm happy for him. I seen her on Instagram, and then he disappeared again.
That's weird.
And I just wish, what I'd like to say to any human out there, if you're doing something with somebody and they're the creative and you're the actual person who's doing it and they're giving you the ideas and you're sick of it, tell them you're sick of it before 100%. you wind them up too much.
100%.
Yeah.
And if you fuckers are listening, answer Benji's fucking messages, man.
Yeah, man. Come on, guys, man. I ain't that bad. Yeah.
Help a brother out.
But I tell you, it's cool though, bro. Life is full of lessons, and as long as we learn from them, that's cool, you know.
Amen, 100%. Yeah, but I just can't believe that shit happens to you at your level. I would have thought any t-shirt designer worth his salt would want to work with Benji Webbe and Skindred, you know.
No, mate, it happens. Listen, I got a friend in Metallica, and it happens to him too. Believe you me.
That's fucked
I think it's
up.
just human fucking condition of bullshit. It's called. You know, I mean, people get excited,
right?
But I wish they get excited and go, "I'm not excited no more."
Yeah.
You know, and then it would make your life easier. I'm sure your listeners are like, fucking get over it, boys.
No, but it's interesting, man, because we don't think that this shit happens to people higher up the food chain than ourselves, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy for people to hear this shit because, otherwise you could think it just happens to you. And there's so much of that now in our culture, with social media, and everyone's life looks like it's so much fucking better than yours, and everyone's band looks like they're so much more successful than yours, you know? And it trashes people's mental health. It's not good. It doesn't help the cause at all, man. You know what I mean? So I love it when I get people like yourself who are so open and honest about the true reality of what life is like on their rung of the ladder. You know, it gives the rest of us a bit of hope when we think, oh, okay, it's not just me. Cool, I'll crack on then, you know? And it kind of segues nicely into something that I wanted to ask you about, which is a bit of a curveball question, because I know in interviews people always want to hear about or ask about, the successes and the name drops and all that sort of stuff and the rock and roll glamour and stuff.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's more interesting and there's more to learn from the failures. I think it helps people out to know that other people have them as well. And also other people can learn then from those who've been over the trenches before them, you know?
Yeah,
so
man.
I'd be really keen to hear of some situations that have been, like you've considered to be crushing disappointments or like near misses or missed opportunities or anything like that. Just to give the rest of us a little bit of a morale boost, you know?
All right, listen, I'm always, even to this day, I always think of us as the band that Neely was. Like, even to this day.
Really?
You know, I mean, like pulling as many people as fucking Ramstein that download on a Friday evening was pretty cool, right?
Yeah, man.
And but I always look at it like we the band that nearly happened. We nearly happened.
Wow.
It's like one time, yeah, and that's how I feel even to this day, bro. I mean, maybe it's a good thing because I'm always striving to be the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't rest on my laurels from that. It makes me go. You know, I want. It's like the other night I was watching something called 60 Years of Welsh Pop Music. Now, I've always felt like the Black Sheep of Wales. No one ever fucking was not interested. But then I realized how much I have got going compared to some of my mates. You know, because some of my mates been doing this music thing as long as I have, and they've never had a break. They've never played download.
Yeah.
You know, they're still playing the fucking Ship and Anchor on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? And you got to take into account how blessed you are, and it makes me feel like that. Like the other night, I was watching 60 Years of Welsh Pop, and I do watch it because I like Super Furry Animals and some of the bands I never even realized were Welsh, like Andy Fairweather Low and stuff like that. And I'm watching this thing going, fucking hell, this is cool as fuck. And next thing you know, they put us on there, and my wife said to me, "See, you're always moaning that they never talk about Skindred, and they did." You know, and I was like, wow. But one thing I'd say is back in the day when one of the most crushing, disappointing things that happened to me and Jeff in the early days of Dubwar, we released our single called Cry Dignity, and this was the record company's last shot. They were like, fuck them after this. If they don't happen after this, they can fuck off kind of thing. So Cry Dignity came out on the Friday, and we had a good call from the label saying, hey, you know, it's going really well. It's doing really, really well. And we're like, wow, that's cool. So Sunday, and then they said, well, but we're not going to find out till Sunday, till the chart is on the actual chart show on BBC Radio 1 on the chart show. So me and Jeff and Richie and Ginge all met in this cafe down in Newport. So we're all sat there, and we got a little transistor radio. We put the radio on at number 40, right? And we go, okay, top 40. We're listening. Top. They go down 4, 5, 6. They do like top. They got the top 20, and we're looking at each other going,
"Fucking hell, here we go!" Yeah.
My God, I'm Jeff's looking at me. I'm looking at Jeff, and they get to the top 10, bro. Yeah. We're still there, right? We're going, no fucking way. This is before the internet. See, this is before you fucking. So it's just word of mouth, bro.
Yeah.
It got to number 4, right? And we're looking at each other going, oh my God. Oh my God, no way. Got to number 2, we're like, this can't be right. And we're still excited. And then the guy said, number 1, a band called Upside Down. They were the first ever. Yeah, they were the first ever band that had a TV documentary about them. And the TV documentary was on the Friday night because that just boosted their sales. So and then on the Monday when we called the label, actually, one of the people Ginge called the record label that evening, one of the guys, and they said, Ginge, we got the 41 in the British charts.
41?
41, mate, so the charts. Yeah, that was fucking, I dragged my feet. I was like a wet fucking rat coming home from town that night. I remember walking, I looked at it, I think, because we were fucking ordering beers and fucking really buzzing about this thing and thinking, we're number fucking 1, bro. We're number 1. Nah, mate. The record company did all they could do. We did all we could do. You know what I mean? But we got the number 4. But the funny thing was, like, we listened from 40 to 40 to number 1, bro. And we were 41. We were just on the other side of it.
Oh, it's like therapy.
Yeah, so that was pretty fucking heartbreaking.
I bet, man.
When we were doing our Dubwar thing, we were quite good and people were digging us. Like when we played Reading and Phoenix Festival and all these cool old school 90s festivals we did. We did the Manic Street Preacher tour, which was absolutely incredible. Yeah. Another romantic thing that was shit during the tour, but now it's beautiful, if you know what I mean. Right. You know, but at the time it was hard work. But The Word was another one that we were told we were going to be on. And we were on tour with a band called the Blaggers, Blaggers ITA. And we were told that during the tour, there's a possibility that we are going to be picked to go on The Word. And we're like, wow. And the guy from The Word came to see us in a place called Harlow.
Yeah, I know it.
And a week later, we went home and we're all expecting, sat in the house watching The Word, the fucking Blaggers was on there. Yeah, I just remember looking at the telly going, my God, I'm sure maybe they got the wrong band. Yeah, I mean, it is. Someone said to me, you got to be tough to be in rock and roll, and it's not to be a hard man. It's just to take the beat ups.
Oh yeah, thick skin.
And it's true. I mean, you look around you and you see bands doing so well, and you wish them well, but you still think, "Fuck, I wish that was me." You know what I mean?
So, what is your You mingle in those circles? I mean, you said you got a friend in Metallica. Do they say the same thing? Is this like you said? Is this a human condition thing?
The same shit I moan about, they moan about.
Right.
This one's a wanker, that one's a wanker. He wants everything for himself. Same thing, bro. Right. Same thing where I complain. I'll be honest with you. With Dubwar, I have more arguments in Dubwar now than I ever fucking did. But Skindred's starting to sail a little easier. You know what I mean? I think we're growing. 20 years with the same fucking lineup is something to celebrate.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The drummer, Jeff and Jeff, when we first started and recorded the first album, Jeff and Ginge was in the band. But they left quite quickly. The first American tour we did, Mikey and Aria was playing, and then we revamped the album so that Mikey and Aria had music on the album, so they didn't feel like they wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was actually part of it, not just playing other people's music. And we did that. But to be in a band for 20 years, I think that's pretty successful.
Oh, damn right, man! And it's still going strong as well, dude. You know what I mean?
I think so, bro. I'd love to, when you see some people on their Instagram and all that, you get they put a picture of their dog and they get 90 million fucking what's it called? And then I put a picture of me singing this beautiful aria, and gets 2 likes.
Yeah, got you.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And you always think, and it's like people say to me, you're doing so well. And yeah, I do realize, and I do count my blessings, and I know that I'm doing well. You know what I mean? But you just I think sometimes you got to be blinkered, Don't watch the other horses in the race. Yeah. Just run your own race.
Right.
I think I've learned to do that, and that's without getting upset and all that, without saying, well, I'm good, what's wrong with me? Without doing that fucking, little kid from...
This is therapy for me, dude. I'm so glad that you're speaking so openly and honestly about this, because I think everybody is the same, aren't they?
Bro.
All of us bands, that look up to Skindred, we all feel exactly the same, in our level of the community.
You know what? Just like in the sketch with John Cleese and the 2 Ronnies, I look up to him, but he looks down to me. Do you know what I mean? It's that kind of sketch.
Got you.
We're always looking up there, but there's always someone complaining. It's like that we played with Volbeat, and some of the venues was absolutely incredible, and I could see that some of the nights they were gutted because it wasn't ram-packed.
Oh, okay.
But they're there. You walk down this hall to get to the stage, and you're walking past like Bring Me the Horizon, Dolly Parton, Cliff Richards, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Humble Dink, and all these people have been in this dress group in this place where you are.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, a lot of the time on that tour, I consoled myself with the fact that I'm doing great things. I'm doing great things,
Dude,
and that's it,
What a life. It's a cliche, but it is the journey, not the destination, isn't it? Because, if you weren't dragging your ass around America, playing with snot and a beaten up transit van, I'm sure there were tons of adventures. Like you say, when you look back now, you've got fond memories, because it is, if you were fucking working in an office, and you stayed there for the rest of your life, you wouldn't have any of these riches, these stories. You know what I mean? Memories.
Even stuff that's happened to me, like divorce and things like that. At the time, it was murder. And I said this to a lot of my friends who were going through that kind of stuff. At the time, it's murder.
Yeah.
But once you get through the battleground and then you find somebody else who you check for or you love, that's the sweet spot.
Love it.
And you think to yourself, thank fuck I got away from her in the end. Thank fuck I got away from him, because I'm in a better situation, my heart-wise and my mind-wise, I'm in a better situation. And sometimes you got to fucking go through the really shit times. One time I heard someone say, when you're going through hell, keep on going, because you're only going through hell.
Love it.
You're going to come out the other side. And that's the same with music, and it's the same as life stories go as well. You just got to keep going.
Love it, man. This is like a fucking philosophy session. I love it, man. This is great. Keep the wisdom coming, dude, because,
Bro, they tell me, they do enjoy it. I should do what do you call it? Fucking the philosophy shit. I do enjoy it.
I love it, man, because I oftentimes, like, I have, successful musicians and stuff on the show, and this is the sort of shit that I like, because it's more interesting than just talking about, like, oh, yeah, well, I was hanging out with Mick Jagger once and stuff. We've heard all that, this is the interesting shit for me, and this is the useful shit, because it helps other people on their journey, because they feel like, oh, well, Benji's going through that, and he's done X, Y, Z, so, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep pushing through hell and come out the other side like he did, so I think it's good to have these kind of conversations.
Yeah, I think you want to, well, as a musician, especially as, some of my favorite musicians, bro, I'll be honest with you, my favorite singer in Wales to this day is a guy called Nigel Smith, who does my fucking garden.
Okay.
Right? Free Finger Nigel, right? I'm telling you now, that guy's voice is so soulful, and he only pisses around, and he's doing a garden sometimes, and I'll stop and I'll look at him, and he's doing his thing, and he starts singing, and I go, oh, listen to this, Benj. I wrote this last night.
Wow.
And I tell you what, bro, his voice is so soulful. He looks like Father Christmas.
Right.
But he sounds, my God, he's got that.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is. He's got that Zeppelin tone to his voice.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's a richness to it. And I mean, like I said, he hasn't been on the telly. Nigel been knocking around in pubs and clubs and open mic nights for years.
Right.
But I recognize the talent in his voice. Another beautiful vocalist for me. I put Nigel, my gardener, on a par with Kelly Jones from fucking Stereo Fire.
Wow.
So I think he's a beautiful.
Right.
Him, Rod Stewart, and Kelly Jones.
Oh, he's got that rasp. Yeah, he's got the gravel.
Oh, there's something about their voice which is special, bro.
Yeah.
But I'd put Nigel up there with them. You know what I mean? He's got that tone to his voice.
Nice, man.
And he's nobody famous. You know what I mean? Like I said already, he's just a beautiful guy who I used to know from bands. He still plays. He can play guitar. He can play bass. He can play drums. Ask me what I can play. Fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
It's a great point. The great point. Because there's so much, especially around here, man, there's so much fucking talent. There's so many good bands, and they're working their ass off, and they're all professional, and they're doing it on a shoestring with no label and having to work around day jobs and stuff like that. And it's fucking heartbreaking, man, because there's only so many opportunities, you know what I mean? And there is an unfortunate element of luck, because you've got to grab that opportunity, you know what I mean? If one doesn't come your way, you can be the best fucking singer in the world, but where do you go from there? So I mean, it's difficult to know what to tell, like, emerging bands or bands that are like hammering the circuit, because it's tough out there now, man. We know the state of venues and streaming and all that sort of stuff.
That's it.
So
one thing I always say this to people, right? Take your eye off fucking trying to be rich. Just enjoy yourself, man. Take your eye off trying to be famous. Just enjoy yourself. I mean, and another thing, I know I might sound old when I say this. I said, but if you were making if you're making a career out of music, you don't put your first fucking wall. If like a bricklayer, if he did a wall, he's not going to let everybody see the wall he's just built for the first fucking time. He's going to keep on that wall. And I'd say just do it for the love of yourself and look around you. If you can look around you on stage and say, that's my favorite guitarist in the world.
Yeah.
That's the blessing, bro. I mean, chasing the dollar, I mean, chasing the dollars, is one aspect of it. But when you stand on stage, if you look behind you and see a drummer who you love, and you not just love, you actually dig the way he plays, and you wouldn't want to be without him.
Yeah.
I think that's the magical thing in rock and roll. And I know I'm blessed from a very early age, from the first time I got in a band, and I didn't even get a record deal till I was 26. You know what I mean? I'm 55 now, and I didn't get a record deal till I was 26. And I felt old then. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the stuff was happening, bands were happening, singers were happening, but I didn't do it till E-Wake Records came into my life.
Right.
But I was doing it, not trying to get a record deal. I just didn't want to fucking work with my brothers painting and decorating.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
I was never going to do that. As much as I'm the worst fucking renderer you'll ever see, I am. When my brother used to give me work to paint and decorate, and he'd have to go back and do it himself after. You know what I mean? When he'd say, I'm doing it because I love you, not because you're fucking good.
That's great advice, man. So those bands out there, because I've been there. I did it for 10 years. We never got above the transit van level, washing in the car park with warm bottled water and shit like that. It's fucking horrendous. That's what I put in my book. And I think the reason the book did well is because it had that appeal. More people could relate to it than they could relate to stories about private planes, cocaine, and groupies, I think that was the appeal, because most bands, that's the level they do stay at, So
I think, you know what, in all honesty, I think what you're talking about there is 95% of the musicians.
Yeah.
Not not the elite who actually get to play on download, and they got Andy Coppin's phone number, and you know what I mean. There ain't many musicians who got that vibe going on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So your book will appeal to those. I mean, I can't, bro. There's so many musicians I respect and I love that never, like you said, never left the transit van, and they're still on the transit van. But the main thing, they are on a transit van, but they're still doing it. Yes. They haven't given up. I think once you go, I'm not doing this no more, that's when it's over.
Right.
You know, that's for me anyway. And I got so many people go, do you want to buy my amp? No, I don't want to buy your fucking amp. Keep it. Oh no, I've had enough, bro. I've had enough. I can't. Bro, you know what? And that's when it's over for you, because you've given up now.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? It's like people come up to me all the time. People who come up to me all the time. Every other day they go, still singing, are you, Benj? You know, I go, yeah, I'm still singing, bro. Yeah, I've seen you on the telly before. I said, yeah, still doing it, bro. You know, they don't know.
What else are you going to do? That's you. That's what you do.
That, bro, I'm pretty shit at painting and decorating. That's my brother. Serious, you know. He won't even give me a gig. I did say to him when the pandemic hit and we had no money and nothing was coming in and nothing was being sold, no gigs. You know, I live my life through rock and roll show. If I'm on the phone to you, I ain't making money, bro. The only time you see me making money is when I'm running up and down like an idiot. Right. You know, and I did say to my brother during the pandemic, can you help me out? He said, not a fucking chance. He said, I might as well fuck. My brother said to me, I might as well get my dog and get a fucking paintbrush and put it on his tail.
That's fucking interesting, dude. So you reached out to your brother in the pandemic?
Yeah, and he said, fuck you, man.
Fucking dude.
See Richie he said, go and see Richie Sunak. He might give you a couple of quid.
Man, I'm surprised at that shit. I'm surprised.
Nah, he said, nah, he wouldn't. Bro, what he's trying to say, the standard of painting that he's got is a good business. No, and he don't.
I'm surprised that you had to reach out. Is what I'm surprised at. A guy that's been in the game. No, you know,
that's the way. Listen, I mean, at the time, I was all right. Believe you me, I was all right. But I was thinking if it got fucking worse and worse.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. But I wasn't like really like desperado at that moment. But even though I did say to him, listen, if worse comes to worse, and he said, don't fucking ask me for work. You can't. No.
I don't care who you are.
He said, I might as well stick a fucking paintbrush on a dog's tail if you're going to do the painting, bro.
If anyone's out there listening to this and Benj ever falls on hard times and comes knocking your door with a fucking can of paint in his hand, just shut the door in his face. Please shut. I'll shut the fucking door in my face. Well, that's interesting, dude, because that leads me into something I wanted to ask you about, because you've been in the game a while now. You know, you've seen the industry change. You came up in the old model, you know, in the 90s when there was
the ass end,
and now you're very much in the new model. You've seen the whole shift and you've been in it and stayed afloat in it. So what are your thoughts, man? Do you think it's better now with social media and the ability to make your own records? Because for people like me, who doesn't have a record deal, I've done 7 albums. It didn't cost me a penny. I did them all in this fucking room. You know, I was able to keep it moving. I self-distributed myself. Some of them did better than others, you know, and I was able to do my thing. I couldn't have done that in the 90s because, you know, you couldn't make your own record back then. You know, it was too fucking expensive. Yeah. So I'm kind of an evangelist for the new model, but it's because it's all I know, you know. So what are your thoughts?
I think, you know, the both ways are great, bro. I mean, knocking the door-to-door Bible salesman music is the way to go. And also, if you can get the big monster behind you, it's the way to go. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, bro. You know, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, and we haven't got to follow a model. I mean, I heard the other day, not that I know anything about fucking urban music, but I heard Stormzy haven't even got a manager.
Really?
Yes, mate. You know what I'm saying? Stormzy have done all that shit himself.
Fucking hell.
You know, I mean, he's ever time and all that crap, but I'm just trying to say, you know, the thing I always go, you need a manager, you need this, you need that. There's a lot of acts out there with the internet and the way that Spotify and YouTube. I think what you need is a clever motherfucker in a room with a fucking computer. That's what you need now.
Right.
And you can be the biggest in the world on that circuit. You know, I mean, I just think there's more than one way to skin a cat. But if I had my chance to live again, I would just get I get 4 clever bastards with a computer. And I think they would help with just social media, because I think the social media thing is really important, especially if you want to touch on. So if you get a team of people who are behind it, it's like I do my own social media myself, and it's shit. I know that, and I'm too tough to spend it on somebody to do it for me. But I just know that looking on it, when you see some of these acts out there, like people come up to me and say, you know, this one and that one. I've never fucking heard of them. Oh, they sold out Brixton Academy 5 times.
Yes, happens all the time. Yeah, man.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
you know, and that's what I love. That it's not all fucking BMG or Sony or someone. It's Martin from fucking Fraser's Road who sorted his shit out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think that's beautiful. I really do. I mean, I'd love to be in a situation where I wasn't dependent on a record label or waiting for a time slot.
Got you.
You know, because I know being with Earache Records, I got to wait for that stuff, and I got to wait for this, and I got to wait for that.
Right.
But I just think there's so many ways you can skin the cat nowadays. It's not just one way to walk in there.
That's great.
But I do think the social media, that kid in his room who got it down and knows how to do the memes and knows how to do this and knows how to do that, and they keep their ear to the ground and they know what's happening. If you can get a team of people like that, I think that's, in this day and age, I think that's, it's not plain sailing, but you're in a better position.
Yeah, 100%. Because in the lockdown, I was making about $500 a month just from Spotify. Not because I was getting loads and loads of streams, but because I've got a 7-album catalog and I own 100% all of it because I'm independent. So I got the label side, I got the publishing, you know, I set up my own publishing outfit, and I got the writer side, producer side, I get everything, the performance side. So, you know, it's only a few $100. Yeah, it helps.
Like Chuck D said, bro, if you don't own the masters own you.
100%. Yeah, man.
And you telling me that's pretty brilliant, mate. That is absolutely, you know, I mean, I put out, during the lockdown, I did a covers album, which obviously doesn't belong to me, but it was just fun to do that kind of thing. I think it was called 2020 Isolation Project.
Right.
And it's still out there. Basically, I took classic rock songs and I did reggae and ska versions of them.
Nice.
And I had a lot of fun doing that, but that was more for my own mental well-being more than anything. You know, I would have wanted to do it with Skindred, but them boys are, I find musicians the worst. They're just so like, oh, not sure about it. The word "I'm not sure about that" comes out of their mouth so much. It's like, oh. So in the end, I did it with my mate on his keyboard thing, and we did that Isolation Project, which is really good, like, you know. But for you to have all that going on, bro, that's brilliant, man. That's really good.
Well, I wonder sometimes because, you know, I do it all by myself and it's a 24-hour, 24/7 job, you know, like I miss so much like socially and in terms of what other people are doing, because doing that, just staying afloat independent, you know, because I play all the instruments, I do all the production, I run the label, you know, I've got a commission for my second book now, I'm doing the podcast. I'm like you, I'm busy as fuck, but because I'm independent, I don't have anybody to bounce anything off or anybody handling, you know, media or promotion or booking or anything like that. It can feel a little bit overwhelming and like, fuck, you know, am I doing this the right way? Have I made a rod for my own back? Yeah, other guys have got it all figured out, you know.
I think you have made a rod for your own back, but at least you're giving yourself the idea. Do you know what I mean?
Like it, yeah.
I think it's better you make that rod for your back, but at least you can actually put the pressure on or take it off, bro. You've got the foot on the gas, and it's how fast you want it to drive.
Great point.
You know, and I think you telling me that now, you know, it makes me think, well, you know, you got it going on, bro. Yeah, I'm signed to a record label. Yeah, I'm signed to a label. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not important like it was before.
Right.
You know, and that's how I view it. I really do. There's so many ways that people can get to where they need to go. Yeah, it's lovely to go to Rockfield. You know? Oh, man, it's beautiful to go to Bay 7 in Los Angeles. You know, all these amazing... It's got Worcestershire. I wouldn't be able to go there if it was just me.
Right.
I would need that in order to go to these amazing, and I've been to some of the best studios in the world. You know, the last Skindred album we recorded called Smile is coming out the 4th of August this year. We've dropped one single called Give It That Bum. But we went to a studio in Worcestershire called Vader. Mate, such a beautiful recording studio.
Oh yeah.
And it's actually in a Georgian mansion.
Yeah, yeah.
And the good thing about it, the guy who runs it, Matt, he was just like the biggest heart guy. You know, he'd come in the studio in the morning. It wasn't troubling you or getting in your way. But I'd miss that, you know what I mean? Right. And I know that doing the Dubwar album in my house and at Richie's house and at Jeff's house, it was great fun. But the actual going to the studio for that memory, you know, it's like I'm trying to get the record company, because we got a lot of more. On this record of Skindreds, we got a lot more sort of, it's heavy as fuck, but there's a lot more dancehall reggae vibes in there as well.
Right.
And I'm trying to get fucking Earache to pay for us to go over to Jamaica to do all the videos.
Yeah,
man. You know, I know, bro. And I'm really working on it. Like, and I really want to go to Jamaica to do the videos, not because I want to go to Jamaica, because life is made of memories, bro.
Love it.
You know, and that's not, and you know, I mean, I'd fucking put my money out of my own pocket to go there just to have the memories of doing the videos in Jamaica, going to Duns River Falls, going to fucking Kingston, Jamaica, doing these really cool, fun videos, making it look like fucking evil Fugees. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I got that in my head, and I hopefully, I think making memories is a very important thing as a musician as well.
Love it.
You know, like you said, like being in your room on your own and doing it, it's you on your own, it's lonely.
Yeah.
But being in a team, it's like a double-edged sword. You can't win.
Yeah.
You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I look at it.
Love it. Man, you were dropping so much fucking wisdom on this. I'm loving it. Man, you're going to put a spring in my step for the rest of the week, honestly. I'll be patting myself on the back after this.
Big yourself up, mate. Fuck them all and big yourself up. That's what I say.
Where do you get this energy from, Benj? Have you always been like this? You know?
Yeah.
Just who you are.
Yeah,
right.
I've always been like this. I've always had the fight and the desire. I try to keep the coal alight, you know. I think that's one thing. As when you got a piece of coal, you take it out to the fire, it's going to go cold. It's like I'm the one, like, and sometimes I piss myself off because I'm trying to encourage the boys in the band, because you know it's not easy being in a band, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So I'm the one who sends the stupid fucking, we got to love each other and live together and the world's a battle, you know. And
cheerleader, come on, guys, we got this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do with Skindred. Sometimes I do that because we do fall into places where he's a cunt, no, you're the cunt, mate, you're the cunt. Your songwriting shit, no, yours is, and you know what I mean. And it hurts your heart, like it weighs heavy on you. Right. So I just want to be in one thing about a band with longevity, the fire goes out, as in like, we got a gig in fucking Brazil. Oh, nice one.
Not Brazil again, fucking hell.
Oh, Brazil, is it?
Fucking miles away.
It's miles away. I just can't come here. You know what I mean? And it's like I still got the fire, and I say to the boys, "Come on, man, don't be like that. Don't be like that." Yeah. Let's rally around, and if there's two people arguing, I go, you know what I mean? Let's sort it out and stuff like that, because I don't care who you are. It's you know, we're not all like Morecambe and Wise, sleeping in the same bed, having a good laugh all the time. Right. And I think sometimes you really got to watch the people around you, because mental health is something that you let it go, you let it slip real quick. Oh yeah. You know, you won't even know the people in my band is suffering this shit, suffering from mental health, including myself, including them. So we got to watch how people's lives are, not just, I'll meet you on stage next week. You know, I want to call Dan up and go, hey, how you doing? I want to call Mikey up and say, how you doing? Yeah. You know, it's different, especially living in Newport. I can pop over Jeff's house. I can pop over Richie's and see him look at me in the eyes. Yeah. But when you don't see each other from 4, 5, 6 months, I want to make sure that the people in my band are still okay. You know, because, you know, not all of us got fucking beautiful wives and families and all that stuff around. Yeah. Some of us are on our own, you know. And I think you need to be there for people. And well, I want to be there for people. Not everybody's there for everybody, but I want to be there for my bandmates. I always say, when I introduce Mikey, my guitarist, I go, this is Mikey, my friend. He also plays guitar with me. Love it. You know, it's not just, he's just my guitarist. I don't want to be just my guitarist. Yeah. I think that you know, I mean, it's not just the money-making machine. It's about the memories that we make. It's a family, man. Yeah. I always go, I try to find, in the last 4 years, I put on a lot of weight about 4 years ago, and I went from fucking 19 stone down to 14, and I kept it off, and now I'm about 16. Wow. And now I'm 16, so I kept 2 off. But I tell you what, it's not easy going to the gym every day. I fucking hate it most days, bro. But what I found, the love that me and Mikey had on the last tour, is he started coming to the gym with me. Right. So we get up in the morning. I'm an early morning. I'm up at fucking 7 most mornings. Right. Like he's 11 o'clock, man. So I get up, I'd find the gym, text him and go, look, Mike, this is where the gym is. Come on down. I've been there in a half hour. And we get to the gym, and I think that was really good, because when you're doing weights, the last thing you want is your fucking guitarist pushing more than you. Do you know what I mean? So it was very motivating, and I found that we rekindled the love that we lost. Exercise is so good for mental health as well, man. I've had those battles myself, and I also lost a couple of stone a few years ago. You know, I got really into it, cardio every day, weightlifting, nutrition, all that sort of stuff, and it can get quite addictive and obsessive, you know. And I just felt fucking great. But then in the lockdown, you know, it all went to shit, you know. So I'm trying to get back on it now, so I can totally relate to that, because that bond you're talking about through fitness as well, even if it's unspoken or intangible, it's there. You know what I mean? Definitely. And like I said, going to the gym, me and Mikey, like, we was on the road for 9-10 weeks, and it wasn't a week. We went to the gym. I think we went to the gym like 5 days a week.
Wow.
Through all of that.
I'd still playing in the night as well. You must have been fucking burning some calories, man. Jesus.
Well, that was the beauty of it, because I did feel much better for it. You know what I mean? And I think, listen, I love fucking beer. I love chips, and I love beans and fucking eggs, bro. I love that stuff. But I think there's balance that we have to have, especially on the road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I love a drink. I love acting crazy, but you got to do it a few times, not every fucking night. I don't think my voice could hold out drinking booze and fucking screaming at the top of my voice in nightclubs every night, going to after parties. It's like I don't do the after party thing no more when I'm touring, because I need after performing, screaming up and running up and down. Listen, from the microphone in your living room, right, in your studio, to a stage, you're using a different form of your voice.
Totally.
The things you do in the studio with the mic, you can't do that and expect people to hear you.
Yeah.
So you really got to give it all you got. Well, I got to give it all I got when I'm on stage. So hence, when I come off stage, it's no use me going to a fucking after party, but I got to scream. How are you doing later on? That was a great show. That was
fucking music blasting. What's that? Ah!
Yeah, and you're screaming. And I found out, and it took me a while, mind, that I'd do a tour, and the first 4 shows I'd be great, and then for the rest of the tour I'd be struggling.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I found out is just rest your voice. Go to bed.
Yeah.
The good thing about supporting Volbeat, God bless them, they're beautiful guys and all that. But by the time they went on stage, I was wrapped up in my fucking bike, bro. I caught, because I like the shows on a Saturday. I'm a Saturday night kind of guy, so I like to watch, because I know no one's got work in the morning, or very few of the audience got work in the morning. Yeah. So I'd like to go and watch Volbeat on a Saturday.
Right.
So you know what I mean. And when I finished the show. Yeah, I love the ego massage. No one loves ego massage like me, bro. Right? But what I was finding, it was more beneficial as a vocalist and a performer if I went to bed, got an early night, woke up, went to gym. I spent the afternoon doing whatever. You know what I mean? Walking around the city. I'm a shopaholic as well, so I do buy a lot of shit.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. Yeah.
walking around cities, and then when you get back to lunch at 4:30, you have your lunch. Then it's showtime at 6:30, 7 o'clock. You know. And it was a routine that I got into. And I know the reason why my voice held out all that tour was because I was into that routine. Right.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And more great advice for bands, man. I mean, how do you manage then doing everything that you do whilst also having, like a home life and a family and a wife and all that, and the personal stuff? How do you balance all that? I'm always interested in how people manage to strike that balance.
I believe in this, bro. Me first and the gimmies, bro. I'm the first, right? And I've got 4 children. I got 16 grandchildren and a beautiful wife, right?
Yeah.
I would never want to meet my 16 grandchildren at the same time. Fuck that. As much as I love it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about balance. Everything is about balance. You know what I mean? I'm fortunate to live in a really shit neighborhood, but everybody in the neighborhood knows me. There's no, you know what I mean? It's quite a heavy neighborhood, but I mean, just helping in the community and doing stuff around for some of your mates and stuff, you know what I mean? And just being there for people. Like a woman the other day, just doing things like you do. Like someone says, so-and-so got cancer, what can you do? The best thing I could do is give you a framed photograph signed by the band and send it to you.
Right.
I find my time is taken up a lot by just doing that.
Yeah.
Taking stuff around to people and stuff like that. And I want to say, I'll be honest with you, other than singing and having that blessing in my life, one of the most rewarding things I ever got involved in was voluntary work for church.
Right.
Helping people, just helping the homeless and stuff like that. I thought that was really good, bro.
So
that was
rewarding. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, they'd come in, and I worked in the voluntary work in a place called Caring Hands in Newport. And I was there for about 4 years.
Wow.
And that was just before Skindred started.
Right.
And it was so rewarding because I met a lot of people on drugs. A lot of people just fucked up and their life turned a different corner. They didn't expect to be homeless or anything like that. But I was the one who would just take them into the room and give them the showers and pick their clothes for them. And I loved it.
Amazing.
Taking the transformation. Like fucking people covered in lice from head to foot. Scary shit, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Their nails are like fucking Nosferatu. You know what I mean? You got to cut their nails, their toenails, their feet, sometimes fucking wipe their ass.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was something where it was, if no one, they'd say thank you, but inside myself, the reward, the massage give myself is so beautiful. And that's the only way I can describe it. You know what I mean?
That's
Saying
amazing.
you've done good today.
That's amazing.
You know, and that was between Dubwar and Skindred. I was right in the middle of it.
How do you find the time to do all this and have 4 kids and a wife and
well, I mean, the 4 kids are not kids no more. They can all fuck off. They look after themselves. What do you think I am? The last time I dealt with them was my daughter's like, listen, I look at it like this. I want to be their dad, but I want to be their friend as well, bro.
Right.
And I want them to be able to console in me, and I want people to be able to tell me stuff. I mean, if I can't say my missus is my best friend, she's not my fucking missus. She shouldn't be my missus.
Yeah.
So I should be able to tell her something and not get upset. I'm back and forth. And I want that to be in a relationship. And I try to get that with all my friends. You know what I mean? No matter what their mindset or their beliefs are. I try to just be true. Like Willie Wobbledagger said. You know who Willie Wobbledagger is, don't you?
No.
Yeah, you do. Willie Wobbledagger. Some people call him William Shakespeare.
Oh.
Willie Wobbledagger said, and I think this is fucking true, to thine own self be true, above all things. And I think that's fucking great. I think that being true to yourself. And sometimes, like you said, when people say to you, going back to the original conversation, when people say, yeah, I'll do that, and then they fuck you over, it'd be nice if at the very beginning they said, wait a minute, I don't want to do it, Benj. Instead of you excited, because look how excited I am talking to you. I'm an excitable fucking person.
I love it.
And that bubble gets burst so fucking easy when people let me down in that aspect. I get personal. If I get an idea for a song and I say it to my bass player or my guitarist and they go, yeah, I'm like, what? You don't understand. One day you'll see my genius. I'm like that. I want everyone to be as excited as I am about everything. But
it's contagious, man. I'm feeling it now. It's contagious.
I play a song to my bass player. It's funny because he'll play me a beat and I'm fucking banging my head. My head's moving. You can't see it, but it's moving. Banging my head. And then I'll play him one and he goes stiff as a fucking board. Puts his hand on his lip and goes,
it's all right.
I'm like, what the fuck? I just played you when I was dancing. What happened to you? So I guess it's just strokes for folks, innit?
Yeah.
People act in different ways in different situations,
totally.
I believe,
Totally. I'm loving this, man. Yeah, and then that energy is contagious as well. I mean, I was going to ask you, how do you, I was going to ask you how you stay inspired, but I don't think you need to. I think it's just, it's just in you. You're always, you've got this energy and you've got this passion and this need to create and enjoy the moment. And I think that seems to be what fuels you.
I think, it's like you said earlier on, when people, I do enjoy even the aspect of someone saying, look, my whole life, even on that Volbeat tour, the reason why I find it so difficult at first, because people tell me I'm good all the time, and it's like, they wasn't saying that. I was the support act, and I'd been Benji Webbe from Skindred for fucking years, but we were doing, in all my life, I've been dying to do CIA, Wembley Arena, main support of a big act.
Right.
Sometimes you can't choose the game. No, if it was up to me, it'd have been fucking System of a Down headlining because I love them. There's nothing them guys can do that I think is wrong, and I'd love to be them. But no, I was given this band from Scandinavia who wasn't that friendly. They didn't come into your dressing room and make sure you was okay.
Right.
They said hello sheepishly in the hallway as you walked past. But they were the breaks that I had to deal with. And I had to and at first going on that tour, I was like, because like I said, I'm this guy. So when I meet people who are like, hey man, it's like, how the fuck do I do that? But you know what? It's a funny saying, you learn to play the game with the cards you've been dealt. And that's exactly what I did with the Volbeat vibe. Now, I know at the beginning with the tour manager was pretty standoffish. The production manager was standoffish. The stage manager was standoffish. Brother, 9 weeks after that, for 8 weeks, I'd say for like 6 weeks, they were fucking standoffish. And I'd be like, what the fuck have I done?
Wow, man.
Oh my God, I haven't done anything. You go on, but you know what? The last 2 weeks, then people started opening up.
Right.
Telling you how happy they were to have you on the tour. You guys are a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much. And there's me thinking, they fucking hate me.
Yeah.
No, bro. It's all the battleground was in my mind. Not theirs. They were doing a job.
Yeah. And everyone's dealing with battles. They might have their own battles going on that you didn't know about.
Exactly. But I was going to say, I went home twice on that tour in 9 weeks. Them poor bastards from fucking Atlanta, Canada.
Right. Yeah.
They never went home, bro.
Right.
So why the fuck should they care about me running up and down acting all silly?
Got you. Yeah.
But by the time the end of the tour came, the same people who I thought didn't really like the band or didn't give a fuck about us really enjoyed us, and they made that known, and that was the best part of the tour. And Addy, my drummer, looked at me the one day because he knows what I'm like. He went, "See."
It's not all about you. It's just great to hear this, man. Thanks so much for sharing this with us, Benji. I mean, this is really, I think a lot of people are gonna really relate to this, and it's gonna make them feel a lot better about their own journey as well. Because, like I said, everyone we all kind of feel like this shit only happens to us,
Good. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I mean, like I said, I could have lived anywhere in the world, and I wanted to live in Newport because I wanted to be like, for want of a better word, like a shining beacon in a place where, just to the other musicians around you to look at you and go, well, you know what, you haven't got to do anything more than just be yourself.
Love it.
You know what I mean? And I think that's important. You know what I mean? I mean, some of the artists who've checked for me over the years, and and some of the singers and the musicians, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they did me. Like, but I mean, people see talent in other things, like, and you haven't necessarily got to see it yourself.
I love it. I love your whole attitude, man. Your attitude on life. And one thing I also love is your, which I think is a reflection of what's inside, is your fucking style, man. Where do you get your clothes, and where can I get a pair of those sunglasses from?
My style. You know what? When I was a little boy, and they asked me to be the king in the play, in the nativity play, I went to rehearsal, and then 3 days before the show, I put the king clothes on. And you know what? The feeling I got from putting them fucking king clothes on, the crown and the weird little fucking Arabic clothing thing they put me in, was magical.
Right.
And I never did anything like that till I was much older. And then when I started singing in bands, it wasn't about the way you dressed and all that. It was just, I knew you couldn't hold that down. You couldn't like portray that. But I got to a stage in Skindred, and because in Dubwar I was always wearing army clothes and all that. But when I got to a stage in Skindred, I was like, when Elvis walks into a room, Elvis is in the room.
Mm.
When Michael Jackson walks in a room, Michael's in the room. When the Pope walks in a room, you definitely knows he's in a room, right? So I said, and when Freddie walks into a fucking room, Freddie's it, right?
Hell yeah.
And I thought, I want a piece of that. And that's when it started small, like a little fucking shiny bracelet.
Okay.
Maybe, it started small, but then I got this alter ego called Nigarachi. He's the black bastard son of Liberace. Right? And when I'm putting all this shit on, bro, and I put in all this sparkly shit, I just love it. I think there's nothing, I mean, it doesn't matter, like for me, putting on the clothes and doing that all that stuff is the best. And I love the dress up thing. I love putting it on and putting on the spiky glasses and just coming the alter ego. Like I said, my alter ego is Nigarachi.
Is your alter ego that different from the real Benj though? Because I just think if you dressed like that in a house.
Well, no, do you know what's happened is the alter ego. What happened is, bro, it used to be something I could do now and again, but now it's just taken over. Bro.
Right.
there is no Benji Webbe, just God.
The other guy, right?
I love that. You know what I mean? People say to me all the time, how the fuck could you wear that? I said, I don't know, I just put it on this morning. He said, well, I tell you what, bro, I wouldn't get away with it. And I said, I agree, but you look good in it. And that's it. I mean,
working, man.
It's confidence, isn't it? I think in whatever you do, if you've got confidence and you just say, right, I don't walk into a pub full of fucking, West Ham supporters and go, I feel sheepish. You got to walk and feel it. And that's what I feel like, and I still feel like putting on the clothes and wearing the outlandish shit is what I want to do and what I want to portray as a friend, man,
Love it. Do you customize your clothes yourselves or do you buy it? Because I've never... where the fuck do you get clothes like that?
I do. I used to... well, this first pair of glasses I did try to make, but the spiky ones, that was fucking fun. Yeah, that was real fun. But I see things and I go, right, wow, that jacket looks good. I wonder if I could do that like that. And I got a few different people around the country. Like, say, I had one of the download suits. I call it Knievel because it's based on Evel Knievel suit. Right. And it's got and it's strange because the only way I can describe it is I got the Evel Knievel thing, but I want a Russian military vibe to it as well. Mm. You know what I mean? And that's the way I do it. And I got different things. I got one called King Kong, which is this full on fucking black fur. You know what I mean? So And that's the vibe. I just look at. I'm very movie orientated. I'm crazy movie oriented. From fucking Saturday Night Fever all the way up to Pulp Fiction. I'm just crazy for movies.
Right.
And sometimes I see things in movies, and I go, I wonder if I could just add that with that and see what it look like. Unfortunately, I got people around the world who I can't draw the pictures, but they know my voice and they know what I want to see.
Right.
And I said, because they ain't got the ideas. It's the same with the guy with the fucking T-shirts. He never had the ideas for the shirts. I gave him the ideas, and then he made them up, and I went, that's it. And I do that a lot with different things and different people, you know, around the world. And sometimes it looks fucking brilliant, and sometimes it's like, where are you going? You know what I mean?
Well, Nick from the Manics does that with his jackets, doesn't he? Because he's got a girl down south that customizes it with a stencil shit and stapling things to it.
Well, that's it. Well, I mean, you got to remember the Manics came when their idea, the vibe, I think, anyway, was definitely from the Clash.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
You know, and when I seen the Clash as a kid growing up, because the Pistols had one vibe, but the Clash had another.
Oh, the Clash were cool.
I mean, the Pistols, you'd have to go to Westwoods and buy that shit, right?
Right.
You know, but with the Clash, you know, you could get your dad's jacket and spray some shit on it. And
the Clash were cool, man.
And I'm still doing it. I mean, there's shirts I wore on the last tour we did in the UK that I did myself, you know, and I actually did them at the show on the morning of the gig. Like, I get to the gig, get to the gig, go to Primark, go to Body Art or whatever it's called, Works, go to the Works, get a tin of spray, and go back, make a stencil, and just do that shit, you know. And I enjoy that, and I think that's pretty. Because when I was a kid, I couldn't afford bondage trousers. I remember I was there when the Sex Pistols were still together. I was a kid. You know, my dad looked at the paper, showed me a picture of all these punks with pins in their nose, and said, "And they call us animals." That's what my dad said. Look at these lot, like, and they're from the jungle, like, you know. But I remember that. But I remember going and finding old trousers and ripping them and fucking sewing zips on them. You know what I mean? And that's what we did as a kid growing up, and I love that fact.
And that's true punk rock, man. That's the punk rock aesthetic, DIY in all things, you know.
I always say Blue Banana got some cool shit, but you can't beat you making your own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
You know, and I think that's what punk is about, DIY. You know, it definitely is, and I still got that aspect because when I went to Gracelands, I've been to Gracelands. Fuck me, I can honestly say I've been to Graceland 6 times. Wow. Yeah, because, you know, when I got a day off and I'm in Memphis, that's where I'm heading off. You know, that's where I'm going. And I've been there about 6 times, and first times I went there, when the 3rd and 4th time I went there, you see a lot of things different. You know, the clothes are different. And you realize that Elvis 60 comeback special is not that special. You know, when you go close to it and look at it and take the time to look at it, you can see it's in a glass case. You know, all these cool Elvis cat suits. But you can see how rough they look. And there's nothing better than smoke and mirrors, bro. When you get on that stage and there's a little smoke in the lights, is something else. Some of the stuff I wore on stage, you wouldn't fucking believe it when you see it up close. You know what I mean? But I think with the smoke and the mirrors, add the sparkle and the sequins.
Yeah, the lights in. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Love it. Well, I'm going to the Works as soon as I put the fucking stop on this podcast now and get some spray paint.
It is, mate.
Well, actually, I've got a fucking badass jacket, man. It's in the other room. I'd show it to you, but I'll send you a picture of it.
Please do.
Yeah, like friends of mine over in Essex have got a company that do like bespoke, custom kind of denim wear stuff, where they get like distressed denim, and then they paint these amazing fucking works of art on it, like proper like heavy metal gothic looking shit, and then they sprinkle it with like crystals and stuff, and it looks fucking amazing because they're totally one-offs, you know. And when my album came out, Big Anchor Great Again, they sent me a jacket, totally just for free, you know, which is fucking awesome of them. With the album cover the complete back of the jacket, and it looks the absolute shit, honestly. So big shout out to Jean Jacket Designs, man.
Oh, send me a picture, man. I love that. That's what I'm saying. I like that shit, bro.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And that's my vibe, really. I mean, I think dressing to go on stage is so important. And I'm glad that my guitarist in Skindred has sort of stepped up. Mikey's basically, he wants to like wear cool shit now as well. So we got these like fucking black hats and the glasses.
Yes, he looks cool.
And when I'm walking the stage with Mikey and the boys, it's like, yeah,
you look badass. The whole band looks fucking badass, man. It's a good look.
That's what, you know, what the guys from Bad Wolves, they were saying to us, like, you know, and I thought they were taking the piss at first, but they were the opening act on the Volbeat tour. And the guys from Bad Wolves, they'd say, like, you know, you guys, and I thought it was just fucking, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. But they genuinely meant that when we were going towards the stage, we looked like we was going to do some fucking damage in it.
You look like a fucking rock and roll band. Yeah.
Amen, brother. And that's the way you want to be, right?
Damn fucking straight. 100%, man. Well, speaking of the band and everything you got going on, before we wrap up, fill us in one more time. What's happening? What's coming up? What's going on?
Well, Dubwar released that album on Earache Records called Westgate Under Fire. And beautiful thing about that, and that's like 25 years, 25 fucking years, you believe that shit? Since we released the first album, Pain, on Earache Records. So that's really cool. And Skindred signed to Earache as well. And I thought that was such a good thing, because it's like, time is a healer and it's a revealer, you know?
Oh, dude, just a line from my book. That's in my book. I thought I came up with that.
There you go. No, I did read your book before I come on, Mike. but it is a time. It does give you, but it makes things
100%.
What was hidden come
100%,
out.
yeah.
You know, and what I thought was like, I can't remember what we're talking about now. Yeah, and being with Earache Records. I mean, last Monday. But there's a Wednesday. Monday, 29 years ago to the day,
wow,
a song of ours called "Gorrit" came out.
Yeah.
I spent Sunday evening in shock. I just couldn't believe I kept, Ginny said, you going to fucking say that again? 20, it was just, I was just in shock that it's been that long. I've had so many good times, bro, more than bad, you know, and I've lost some beautiful people along the way, but their memory stays with me and still makes me smile. You know, yes, they're not there to make me smile, but I can go back to that memory bank and bring them back, you know, for that time when I need them, you know what I mean? And they still make me laugh. But I'm looking back at that and just 29 years. It's been a long journey, but I think I'm in the one. I feel like I'm on the winning side. You know what I mean?
100%, dude, 100%. And long may it continue, bro, as well. I mean, let's hope you got another fucking 29 in you, man. You know,
bro. I got a lot of fucking. Oh yeah. So what I got happening is this: I've got the Dubwar tour coming up. Westgate Under Fire. That starts on the 1st of March and ends on the 9th. We got an amazing television program in Germany to do on the 18th, which is really cool because Jeff was watching it the other night, and you know, you've had the Deftones on there, you've had fucking Frank Black, you've had just amazing band. Can't remember the name. I'll drop you a list of it. But yeah, we got that going on, and I'm really excited because I'll be honest with you, the next Skindred album is probably the best since Babylon. Oof. And I can say that honestly. It's just so. I mean, the pandemic, as much as it was a curse, it was a blessing for people who want to be creative. And I know that I took the time to really write and really think about my subject matters on this. I mean, I'm always going to be singing. As long as the world is unjust and fucking horrible, I'm going to be there to sing about it.
It's going to be good songs. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it inspires me to sing. Don't get me wrong, because we got a song on the new album that we performed at Download called Smile Please, Love. And we had the opportunity to play something really heavy or play something really nice, something reggae and different from what you would get at Download. And because I wanted to play something heavy, you know, and I thought Ali was fucking with me at first. He said, well, let's play that reggae kind of vibe at Download. And I said, all right, you know, sort of sold it to me. And when we played it, you know, in a field full of fucking goth, heavy metal, hardcore people, they all dug the song called Love. And I thought that was the best thing. You know, I mean, it really made me go, you know what, I don't care what color you are, what sexuality you are, you want love. And that is the most, I can't express in my musical career enough that love is something that I love to watch. I love to see people smile when I play, and I love to feel that energy coming back. And the best of all is when they're walking out the venue. Sometimes I go on the bus and I just sit in the bus and watch people coming out the venues, and I just see them hugging, smiling, loving, and that, bro. Yeah. It is priceless. It's priceless.
It is
bro.
Priceless.
You
know?
Yeah,
it's priceless. You're doing great work, man. It's the same ethos as when you were working in the homeless shelter all those years ago and helping out. You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't feel much different. I know, I mean, a little grayer, but that's about it.
It's the same thing. You're spreading love, and dude, and you got a lot of love out there for you as well. You know, we
appreciate that.
You know, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for everything you're doing. Thanks for coming on the podcast and giving us all this fucking awesome wisdom from, you know, your incredible life journey. We really appreciate it. And we'll just fucking please keep doing your thing, and long may you continue to shine, brother.
Yeah, man. I'll send you some shit on WhatsApp, all right?
Wicked. Thank you, Benj. Speak to you soon. Thanks again for doing this, man. Take care.
Wicked. Thanks, mate. Bye.
And he's gone. Wow. What did you think of that? Put it together with Mr. Benji Webbe, a.k.a. a word I can't say. Oh man, I just love it when people know who they are. Benji, like, what did he say? Willie Wobbledagger said, know thyself, an ancient Greek thing coming from Socrates. Just know who you are. Like, I get the feeling that the Benji Webbe knows exactly who he is, and he's very comfortable being Benji Webbe. And his value system, man, is right on point. What a cool dude, man. I love when people are open and honest like that, and they share their vulnerabilities and their shortcomings and their failures, as well as their strengths and their successes, and they manage to make something good out of all of it. Such a good example, and like so many great one-liners as well. Jesus Christ, what did he say? When you're going through hell, keep going. I love that, man. The dude had a lot to say about life and the lessons he's learned, through the hard upward journey on the brutal rock and roll freeway. And he made a lot of good points about the music business as well. I think there's a lot of words of encouragement in there for bands who are kind of slogging it away on the circuit, And he seemed to be in favor of the new model as well, which is interesting because I get both sides on this podcast. Basically, what a dude. That was a fun chat. That hour flew by. We probably could have talked for another, I don't know, God knows how long. But that was a fun chat, and I'm a fan. Benji Webbe, we salute you. Do go and check out everything he's got coming up with the bands Dubwar and Skindred. You can catch Dubwar on tour with my good friend Mr. Jeff Rose as of March the 1st. They're playing in some of my favourite venues in Sheffield, London, Southampton, Nottingham, Exeter, Bristol, Bradford, Blackpool and Bedford. They're playing all over the goddamn place. So go and check them out whilst you can. Starting on March the 1st right through to March the 9th, 2023, baby. And I'm sure that Skindred will be back kicking ass hot off the heels of that tour finishing. So if you're not already on the socials, get on Facebook at Skindred and Dubwar. Check out their websites, check out their Insta handles. Do follow Benji on Instagram. He's hilarious. And if you enjoyed listening to our chat, please share the shit out of it and spread the word. Final reminder to subscribe to the podcast. Whilst you're here, just click the follow button or the subscribe or whatever the fuck it is. Just hit it and give us a share, give us a like, give us a thumbs up or a star or whatever the fuck you gotta do to help me out. That would be really appreciated. I will see you next week with another episode with another awesome guest. And in the meantime, as always, have a great week. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.